Paddy, over to you, mate.
Yeah, that's obviously a tough one to take at the end. Just give us your assessment, please.
Not good enough first 45. We expected a low defending Derby team where they would fight with all their powers to get a point from the game today. So fair play to them, because that's how it is when you are fighting to survive and stay in the league. So we knew that. So we knew that it was probably down to us to create the rhythm and the flow and just the tempo in the game. I don't think we succeeded with that in the first half. I think we had a game picture where it was a lot of us passing around on their half, but not good enough in getting in behind them and creating the situations in and around the box that we need to create a situation where they really have to defend. So I don't think we caused them enough problems defensively in first half, and second got better. Not still top level for us, but it got better. We changed a little bit of our structure up front and moved Ante a little bit closer to Josh in most of our attacking game, and also tried to risk the ball a little bit more and bring in some crosses and see if we could win some corner kicks and through corner kicks and crosses create a flow in the game and momentum in the game where it was us pushing for a goal. And I think we scored a beautiful one, really good combinations, and probably we should have with a little bit better first half we would have scored one there, and then we could have killed second half with the second goal, but that was unfortunately not the case.
And obviously then the fact you haven't killed the game, just a basic individual error from Stacey.
Yeah, I'm not pleased with it, because it's the third time this season that we commit a foul in the penalty box like that, where we stick out the leg and we use the leg instead of using our body, and it's a shame, because 1-0 with the game picture today, okay, we could be satisfied, fine performance. We didn't allow any big chances against us, and we had the control in the game. But now it completely changes the feeling after the game because of that incident, and we simply have to learn from it, because like I said, it's the third time this season where we try to use the feet instead of the body and are not really aware of the situations in the box, and that's the focus and concentration I also spoke about yesterday before the game that you need, because for us to defend the last 5 minutes, okay, fair enough, that's what we have to do, and then a 1-0 win and go home and prepare for Tuesday.
Yeah, particularly an experienced player as well. You know, you'd like to think in that scenario you probably make a better decision.
Yeah, and that's one thing, and of course you open up to situations like that when you only have a 1-goal lead. So that's one story of the game today. But I will also say I think a bigger story for us is that we don't play well enough the first 45 minutes. And if we had just scored a 1-0 goal earlier in the game, potentially to score the second halfway through second, then it's a completely different game and completely different scenario towards the end. So I think I prefer to look at that perspective and want us to be even better than we were in first half, because that was not close enough to our standards, and we were not offensive enough in our movements and our positions and our decisions.
You did manage to get right on the pitch. Was there any sense, or just because of the way the game was so tight, to get your Rasek on as well?
Yeah, we spoke about that, but of course we also ran out of substitutions. It's a good position to be that we actually want to put all of the guys on the bench on the pitch, but fortunately we can only do 5. So we also had to look at some tiredness. Wanted to see if we could push Lucian through 90 minutes. A little bit slower game for him today, so we actually thought that he could do it, but he was tired towards the end, and that was probably the reason, or it was the reason why we had to take him off and also did not put on some of the new guys. Jacob was the reason to just have an even more control, also towards the end of the game. Even more passes, even more control. Still have a game picture where it's us trying to push for a second goal on their half instead of us defending too much.
I mean, clearly you're focusing on what your team haven't done in certain aspects of that game, but I guess when you hear, Derby dismiss Paul Warner, you probably know that's going to maybe lead to a slightly different approach maybe from those Derby players, because they'll obviously now want to be trying to impress a new head coach.
Yeah, I think actually, to be honest, I think what they did today was also what they prepared yesterday. That's my feeling, and I think they prepared for a game where if they could defend low and they could see if they could kill the rhythm and the flow in the game, then that would be the preferred game picture for them. Don't get me wrong; it's absolutely fair that they do it. It's their chance in the game, and it's their way to earn a point. And we just have to be even better against a team that is playing the way like that, because we've seen it more games so far this season, especially when we play at home. That is the approach for the opposition, and we just have to deal with it. We have to learn from it, and we have to be better, because, like I said, we should have gone 1-0 or 2-0 up even in first half, but we wasted that opportunity, and that will always create a different scenario in second half where it's down to probably only one goal, and that's not ideal.
No Sorensen today. Was that simply just you've got all these options, or
Yeah, it's down to the situation. We have a lot of midfielders available now. Jacob came on, Anis came on, Nacho started the game, so 3 midfielders that was not available for the game we played Watford last Saturday. So fortunately for us, it's a great situation to be in. We have players available, and there's competition when we train, and if you're not performing up to those standards, then we can choose other players. So it's not because he did not good in Watford, because I'm actually pleased with his performance, but there's a tough competition now.
Just final one for me. Obviously, this will sting a little bit, I'm sure, but the fact you've got Preston here now midweek, that's a good opportunity, isn't it, to maybe get a few things out of the system.
Yeah, I think every game in the Championship is a difficult one, and you have to prepare it in the way that is needed. I think a Preston at home can be as difficult as going to Hull away in 7 days' time. So we just have to, like I said yesterday in the press conference, we just have to play with that discipline and really not arrogant in any way, because if you're not performing up to your standards, then a game like today or Preston at home on Tuesday can be another difficult one. If you do your best and if you do play up to your standards, then I think we are. It's fair to say that we are the favourites also stepping into the game Tuesday night, but we have to make sure that we do it. And first half today was not good enough. So we have to take away the learning from second half, what did we do right, to open up a little bit more, to have more collective movements and more runs to open them up. But we also have to take the learning from first half and see we have to avoid that Tuesday night, because otherwise it will not be an easy one.
Sure.
Does today feel like a missed opportunity? Is the overriding feeling?
In terms of what do you think?
Well, in two senses. One, because you could have progressed into the top 6, and 2, because you should have won that game and you haven't. You come away with 1.3.
Yeah.
So on both those levels.
Yeah, I think more missed in the sense that I would have hoped us to be better. I would have hoped us to be, like I've said a couple of times now, especially in the first half, be more offensive minded and creating more dilemmas for them defensively. I didn't think we managed to do that. The result is what it is, and we do everything we can to get good results. And we know that it will be tight towards the end, probably with the playoff positions, and you have to take your points when you can take them. But I think it's down to that first half that was not good enough, and that's probably what I'm most frustrated about. You can always get a draw in the Championship, and you cannot expect to win every time. But I can expect us to be better, and like I said, I addressed it to the players after the game, and I will do it again tomorrow morning, because that's probably the most important thing for us stepping into the Tuesday night game.
As disappointed as you've been in recent times, you normally come in here pretty level most days, win or lose, but today you do look like you're fed up, disappointed.
I can give you a smile if that's what you want.
That's what we're looking for.
No, don't get me wrong. Of course, I'm always disappointed when we don't win a game where I think we should win. But I try to highlight the moments that creates that disappointment, because it's easy to say that it's just because of a penalty at the end. But the way I see it is not only because of that. It's because we didn't do well enough in first half. That disappointed me. That's where we are. And can I expect that we are perfect every single game that we play from now on to the end of the season? No, and there will be more disappointment down the road. But we have to do better. We have to make sure that if we have to sit and be disappointed, we can look at the game and say, okay, we did all that we could. And I have the feeling, and when looking at that first 45 minutes, we could have done more, and we should have done more.
Thank you.
Thank you. Evening, Johannes.
Evening.
Have you had a chance to look back at the penalty incident yet? Because it was quite difficult to see whether Stacey made contact with the head or not. What was your thoughts on the decision?
I've only seen it from my position out there next to the pitch. So I think from what I've seen, it looks like a penalty. I think he raised his leg to a level where his head is, and I think you at least give the chance for the ref and for the player to win a penalty. So I think it's, from what I saw out there, it looked like a penalty. I think also there's a foul, or there's something going on in the box before that where they take down one of our players, which I think could have led to another decision. But the penalty itself, with the incident there, from what I saw, it was a clear penalty, and we just have to do, like I said, it's 3 times now this season where we try to win the ball sticking out a leg in the penalty box instead of using the body, and that's probably what we should have done in the situation.
So is it one of those where you're kind of more annoyed with the decision that was made to go for the ball rather than the decision itself?
Yeah, because if you just bump into him with the shoulder, then there's never a penalty situation or decision to make. So of course we have to look at that and be even more specific and clear to the players how they have to defend in the box, because there's always a risk. But I'm actually, like I said, if you can look at that incident, but I tend to look more at the 89 minutes in the game where we should have been 2-0 up or 3-0 up by being even better offensively, because then a penalty at the end will not be decisive or will not have anything to say about the result of the game. And that's what we know in this league, that it doesn't take much for a result to change from being good to today probably not so good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.